IVF made more affordable? U.S. deal could ripple to Kenya. In a move that's drawing global attention, former U.S. President Donald Trump has brokered a deal aimed at reducing the cost of fertility drugs, including those used in vitro fertilization, IVF. While this is a U.S. story, its implications could resonate far beyond Washington, including here in Kenya, where IVF remains prohibitively expensive for most couples. In this report, we explore what the U.S. price cut deal entails, how IVF costs and access stand in Kenya today, what this could mean for Kenyan couples longing for a child, what the U.S. deal entails. Trump announced that his administration struck an arrangement with German drug maker Merck KGaA to reduce costs of its fertility drugs. Under the agreement, Merck's full IVF drug portfolio would be made available through Trump's TrumpRx platform, and production would be increased within the U.S. Trump noted that one of Merck's key fertility drugs, Gonal-F, is 700% more expensive in the U.S. than in the rest of the world. The rationale: leverage trade pressure, threat of tariffs, in exchange for drug price concessions. If implemented well, this could lower the cost barrier for IVF in the U.S. and perhaps influence global drug markets over time. IVF in Kenya: costs, challenges, access. Current cost landscape in Kenya. In Nairobi, private clinics quote KS 400,000 to 600,000, USD 2,500,4,000 plus, per IVF cycle, depending on the clinic and complexity. Some fertility centers list costs from KS 430,000 upward for a self-cycle, using the couple's own eggs. More advanced or donor-based cycles, egg donation, sperm donation, extra lab services command higher rates. Many Kenyans describe the costs as exorbitant, making IVF accessible only to a small elite. Barriers beyond cost. Insurance and health coverage often exclude fertility treatments, so couples shoulder all expenses. The emotional burden and social stigma around infertility, particularly for women, remains significant. Geographic access. Many regions lack fertility clinics, so couples may need to travel long distances. Regulatory/policy gaps. There is no overarching national policy guaranteeing subsidized or regulated IVF access in Kenya. Why this matters in Kenya? Infertility affects couples across socioeconomic strata. When treatment is out of reach, many options, adoption, donor gametes, surrogacy, come with their own ethical, legal, and financial complications. Kenya's fertility rate has been falling over decades, from 6.7 children per woman in 1989 to 3.4 in 2022, in part due to changing social patterns, but also reflecting broader reproductive health dynamics. Lowering the cost barrier could democratize access, give hope to many couples, and reduce the infertility inequality based on wealth. What the U.S. move could mean for Kenya. While the U.S. price reduction deal doesn't automatically cause costs in Kenya to drop, there are several possible ripple effects. Drug pricing influence. Global suppliers may recalibrate pricing if U.S. demand shifts and pricing benchmarks change. Kenyan clinics sourcing the same fertility drugs might see lower procurement costs over time. Competitive pressure/benchmarking. If U.S. patients gain access to cheaper IVF, it could push global actors, including in Kenya, to reduce margins, particularly for imported drugs and consumables. Policy inspiration/advocacy. Kenyan health advocates might use the U.S. move as leverage to push for domestic reforms. Subsidized IVF, inclusion in insurance, or government partnerships with fertility providers. Technology and supply chain impact. Increased production or innovation in fertility drugs could lead to more efficient drug formulations, lower manufacturing costs, and economies of scale benefiting global markets. However, there are caveats. Local taxes, import duties, distribution costs, clinic overheads, regulatory barriers, and currency fluctuations can all blunt the trickle-down effect. Risks and cautions. A reduction in drug cost is necessary but not sufficient. The bulk of IVF cost in Kenya lies in procedures, lab services, doctor fees, infrastructure, and overhead. There is potential for unequal benefit. Clinics in urban, affluent areas may more readily adopt lower costs, leaving rural or less resourced clinics behind. If cheaper drugs flood the market without quality checks, substandard or counterfeit products could emerge, risking patient safety. Policy shifts require political will, regulatory enforcement, and stakeholder buy-in: clinics, drug companies, insurers, government.